Welcome to this video. So I'm going to be talking about the new launch from Rare Beauty, which is their Positive Light Tinted Moisturizer. At this point, I'm a big fan of Rare Beauty. I definitely follow along with the launches they come out with. Just a lot of the things that have launched from them have been super thoughtful, super high quality, and have just been overall hits for me. So having that history going in, I just like pay more attention to their brand now. And I haven't really had anything that's been like a huge dud, so that's fun. And then in addition to that, there have been a lot of foundation based product releases basically this whole year that are all like natural and lightweight and very much up my alley, and I've just been having a lot of fun trying out these different formulas, seeing how they work for me. Honestly, a lot of them are really good. This one is no exception. So getting into the product itself a little bit, I have the shade 20W. This is 1 ounce and it retails for $29. Very standard. The packaging I love because it's got this like squeezy tube look to it, which is pretty classic for something that's more lightweight, more fluid. We kind of have this association with like the face and body packaging, the Glossier tinted skin tint, and like the Dior Backstage. These are all like on the go, quick and easy base products, right? And this, like, I feel like just putting it in this kind of squeezer bottle lends itself to being categorized as such, which it certainly is. But I think she's done like her own little twist on it, so it does look unique. Like those are all kind of carbon copies of each other, but this just looks a little bit more sleek, a little bit more done up, but like we have the association of what kind of product it is already. In addition, she's got this like divot here, which just makes it a little bit easier to open. Like your thumb naturally goes right there. And I remember hearing rumors that her packaging was made to be like extra ergonomic, which I didn't really see any like confirmation of follow-up. However, when I experience her packaging myself, I do feel like the design really feels like it's made to be easy to use, and this definitely falls into that. Like it would have been fine without this divot, but it's there and it has a bit of function to it, so that's really cool. Another detail I want to talk about. So this product has SPF 20, which I like when brands have SPF. Before, well, okay, so your base products, your makeup products are never going to have enough SPF. You need a separate sunscreen if you want sun protection on that day. So that's a base fact. And after we move on from that, I kind of like if my products have additional SPF, just because then I'm just layering on more, and like what's the harm in that? But I can definitely understand like if you're someone who has irritation to SPF ingredients, then it like takes away a lot of products that you have access to. And getting into the shade range, I think this is the best explanation of a shade range shift combination that I've seen with a skin product launch. And let me explain this a little further. So she's got this foundation line, which a lot of people know and love and like have an understanding of what shade they're in, right? And then a lot of times brands will shift their shade range for tinted moisturizers to kind of pare it down, but this is because the product is sheer and each individual shade will work for more people, hopefully. But she did a really awesome job, and if you follow her on social media, posting this chart of like, oh, if you're this or that in the foundation, here's what your shade would be in the moisturizer. And then additionally, she's got this whole other page and this post that shows a bunch of different profiles of like people wearing this product and what shade they are. So not only can you just see like the swatches of each face, like because we get that with every product, right? But you can kind of see examples of other Instagram users and what shade they wear. So you can kind of go to their profile, kind of see what their complexion is in different lightings. Maybe if they're like a makeup blogger, you can get an understanding of what shade they are in other complexion products, so that was like very much above and beyond. I found it really easy and intuitive to figure out what shade I would be. I haven't actually used the foundation, but I know that I would be shade 170. But I went in store and swatched this shade 20W against the two adjacent shades, and you can see that 16C is a bit pinker, lighter in depth, and 22W is even more, it would definitely be very orangey on me and way too dark. And then below that, I've also swatched 170W and 180W, which according to her chart are, if you're this foundation shade, you would get 20W. And from looking in store, I could definitely tell that 20W is basically just those two shades mixed together. I definitely find that this shade works well for me. Going on, it's maybe a hint peachy, but blended out, it's fine. I think I look good. My neck is always a little greener. It is what it is. So I put it on today with a beauty blender, which is my standard way of applying base products. That's my favorite way by far. So yes, it is a bit sheer. If I wanted more coverage, I could go with a brush or my fingers. This product is great. And I feel like my review for this is a little boring because there's nothing to complain about. So in a way, it's kind of bland. Okay, so let's go down the list of things that I should talk about. First off, I don't really notice any scent. The texture is a little gel-like, but also liquidy. Like, it's not like MAC Face and Body where it just like slips and slides everywhere. It's not quite that liquidy. It kind of feels like a moisturizer, honestly, truly. Like it is the most moisturizer-like base product I have, I think. And it does a good job, actually, of adding a bit of like moisture and hydration. I do hold my whole skincare, but like if I didn't have enough moisturizer, if I skip moisturizer entirely, I think I could go on with like just this as my moisturizer and it could actually work, which I don't feel that way about a lot of base products that I have. So that's cool. I guess going off that point, keeps my skin hydrated throughout the day. Well, I don't think that's the right way to say it. It doesn't dry my skin out at all, which now that I'm on tretinoin as part of my skincare, my skin is very, very susceptible to feeling dried out. I pretty much rarely wear powder because it's just like, my skin is very sensitive to getting dried out. So this keeps my skin nice and nourished. Going on, it's very much a light coverage. For me, it's not very buildable. Yes, you can sheer it out more, but somewhere between sheer to light is the range it goes on. It is just super flattering. It doesn't really catch on. If you're like really flaky, it'll show, but it does a good job at like in my nose crevices. My forehead is flaky, but as long as I tap it on with my beauty blender, it does a good job. It's just like nice, which is actually saying a lot because I only have a very, very small handful of base products that are truly like S tier in not catching on flaky bits. So for me, that's MAC Face and Body, the Kogan Do Aqua Foundation, and the Makeup Forever Reboot Foundation. And then this, I'll give it like in that range of like really being natural and not looking makeup-y at all and looking like not catching on my texture, like very, very, very minimally. So awesome job. It's dewy at first for sure, but then by about the half-hour mark, it kind of dries down to a more like skin-like finish that just feels pretty moisturized. Like I don't feel like I look like I don't feel or look greasy, but I definitely look hydrated, I think. I don't feel like this is an excessively glowy product, but it definitely just leaves my skin looking like healthy and moisturized, so that's cool. It's a super natural finish in my head. It wears really well, at least on me, in that maybe it doesn't last all day, but it fades very gracefully. As it fades, like it doesn't make my skin feel more like dry and crack and peel. It just kind of fades away in a very natural way, so I don't mind that. My oils don't really like cause it to separate and break apart. My overall takeaway is just that there's a lot of good tinted moisturizer options, and a lot of them are like subtly different in various ways, and I kind of think the Rare Beauty one is the most like inoffensive, down the middle of the line option. Like, it's not heavy, it's not too light, it's not too glowy, it's not matte. It's just like, it kind of feels like the Goldilocks of it all, you know? Like, there's the Fenty Skin Tint, but that one's blurring in matte, and then there's like MAC Face and Body, and that one's super glowy. The most comparable product that I've tried is probably the Tower 28 tinted sunscreen, and that product, very beautiful, very skin-like, has more coverage than this one. I kind of like this one a little bit better just because I really like that sort of light sheer coverage. If you have a tinted moisturizer you like, you don't need to go run out and buy this, but I kind of feel like this would be my #1 recommendation for anyone who is looking to get into their first like sheer / lightweight light coverage base product. Let me know if you try it out. I like it a lot, and I like it a lot because it does nothing wrong, and that kind of makes for a boring review almost. I'm like hesitant to rave about it because at the end of the day, it's just a tinted moisturizer. I have a lot of products like this, but at the same time, it does it really, really well. So there's that. Thanks for watching.